Imagine a bustling marketplace in ancient Athens. People are talking, trading, and debating. In the midst of this vibrant scene, a man stands out. This man is Socrates, a philosopher, and he's about to face a life-altering trial. He's been accused of serious crimes that could cost him his life. Socrates was not a typical Athenian. He didn't seek wealth or power. Instead, he dedicated his life to seeking truth and wisdom. He questioned everything and everyone, challenging conventional beliefs. This made him both admired and feared. He wandered the streets, engaging in dialogues with anyone willing to talk. He challenged their assumptions and probed their understanding of the world. This constant questioning earned him the title of Gadfly of Athens. Socrates' relentless pursuit of truth made him enemies. He challenged powerful figures and exposed their hypocrisy. This led to accusations that threatened his very existence. He was about to face the Athenian court, a jury of his peers. The charges against Socrates were serious. He was accused of corrupting the youth of Athens. His accusers claimed he was poisoning young minds with his unconventional ideas. They believed he was leading them astray, challenging their respect for tradition. Another charge leveled against him was impiety, a lack of respect for the gods. Socrates questioned the traditional understanding of the divine. He challenged the stories and rituals that formed the basis of Athenian religion. These accusations were not to be taken lightly. In ancient Athens, religion and tradition were deeply intertwined with the state. Challenging these fundamental beliefs was seen as an attack on the very fabric of society. The charges against Socrates reflected a growing unease with his influence. His constant questioning, his relentless pursuit of truth, had disrupted the established order. He had become a threat to those who clung to power and tradition. As Socrates stood before the court, ready to defend himself, he didn't deny the charges against him outright. Instead, he used the opportunity to explain his philosophy and his way of life. He sought to clarify his intentions, to show that his pursuit of truth was not a crime. He argued that his questioning was not meant to corrupt the youth, but to enlighten them. He believed that true wisdom lay in recognizing one's own ignorance. He encouraged critical thinking, challenging young minds to question everything. Socrates admitted to questioning the traditional gods. However, he argued that this was not impiety, but a genuine search for understanding. He believed that true piety lay in seeking a deeper understanding of the divine, not simply accepting traditional beliefs without question. He emphasized that his pursuit of truth was not motivated by malice or a desire to undermine the state. He believed that a society that valued knowledge and critical thinking was a stronger society. He saw himself as a gadfly, stinging the state into greater awareness. Socrates' defense was not a passive acceptance of the charges. He actively engaged with his accusers, using his famous Socratic method to expose their contradictions. He asked them probing questions, forcing them to clarify their accusations and examine their own beliefs. He questioned Miletus, one of his main accusers, about the nature of corruption. He asked who, if not him, was responsible for improving the youth. He pointed out the absurdity of the charge, showing that it was based on assumptions and not evidence. Socrates challenged the accusation of impiety by highlighting the inconsistencies in the traditional stories about the gods. He questioned how the gods, who were supposed to be perfect and virtuous, could engage in the petty squabbles and immoral acts described in the myths. Through his questioning, Socrates exposed the weakness of the arguments against him. He demonstrated that his accusers had not thought deeply about the issues they were raising. He revealed that their accusations were based on prejudice and fear, not on reason and evidence. Section 5. Wisdom's paradox: knowing what you don't know. At the heart of Socrates' defense was a profound insight about wisdom. He believed that true wisdom lies not in possessing all the answers, but in recognizing the limits of one's own knowledge. He famously declared, "I know that I know nothing." This paradoxical statement captures the essence of the Socratic approach to learning. It emphasizes the importance of humility and open-mindedness. It encourages us to question everything and to be constantly seeking greater understanding. Socrates believed that the unexamined life is not worth living. He argued that we must constantly challenge our assumptions and beliefs, striving to move beyond ignorance and towards greater knowledge. He saw his role as a midwife of ideas, helping others to give birth to their own understanding of the world. He believed that true knowledge comes from within, through self-reflection and critical thinking. Section 6. The Gadfly of Athens. Socrates' impact on society. Socrates' relentless questioning earned him the title of Gadfly of Athens. He saw himself as a stinging insect, provoking the state into greater awareness. He believed that his constant questioning was essential for the health of Athenian democracy. He argued that a society that suppressed dissent and critical thinking was a society in decline. He believed that true progress came from challenging the status quo and constantly striving for improvement. Socrates' influence extended beyond the marketplace and the courtroom. He inspired generations of philosophers and thinkers, shaping the course of Western thought. His ideas about ethics, justice, and the nature of knowledge continue to resonate today. His method of questioning, the Socratic method, remains a powerful tool for learning and critical thinking. It encourages us to ask probing questions, to challenge assumptions, and to seek deeper understanding. Section 7. The verdict, a blow to free thought. Despite his eloquent defense, Socrates was found guilty by the Athenian jury. The verdict was a blow to free thought and intellectual inquiry. It demonstrated the dangers of challenging established power and conventional beliefs. The jury sentenced Socrates to death. He was given the option to renounce his beliefs and escape punishment. However, he refused to compromise his principles. He chose death over betraying his commitment to truth. Socrates' acceptance of his fate demonstrated his unwavering conviction. He believed that it was better to die for what he believed in than to live a life of compromise and hypocrisy. The verdict against Socrates was a tragedy for Athens. It marked a turning point in the city's intellectual and political life. It signaled a move away from open debate and critical thinking towards conformity and suppression of dissent. Section 8. Socrates' legacy, a champion of reason. Despite his untimely death, Socrates' legacy lived on. His ideas continued to inspire generations of philosophers and thinkers. He became a symbol of intellectual courage and the pursuit of truth. Plato, one of Socrates' most famous students, immortalized his teacher's teachings in his dialogues. Through Plato's writings, Socrates' ideas reached a wider audience, influencing the development of Western philosophy. Socrates' emphasis on reason and critical thinking laid the foundation for the scientific method. His insistence on questioning everything paved the way for scientific inquiry and the pursuit of knowledge based on evidence and observation. His commitment to ethical principles and the importance of living a just life continues to inspire moral reflection. His example reminds us of the importance of standing up for what we believe in, even in the face of adversity. Section 9. Relevance in the modern age, the enduring power of critical thinking. Socrates' ideas remain remarkably relevant in the modern age. In a world bombarded with information, the ability to think critically and evaluate information is more important than ever. The Socratic method, with its emphasis on questioning and challenging assumptions, is a valuable tool for navigating the complexities of the modern world. It can help us to distinguish between truth and falsehood, between fact and opinion. Socrates' emphasis on self-reflection and the unexamined life encourages us to be mindful of our own biases and prejudices. It reminds us to be open to new ideas and perspectives, even if they challenge our existing beliefs. His example of intellectual courage inspires us to speak out against injustice and to defend the principles of free speech and open inquiry. Section 10. Echoes of Socrates inspiring truth seekers throughout history. Socrates' influence can be seen throughout history, inspiring countless individuals to stand up for truth and justice. From Martin Luther King Jr.'s fight for civil rights to Nelson Mandela's struggle against apartheid, the echoes of Socrates' courage can be heard. His commitment to reason and critical thinking has inspired scientists, artists, and activists to challenge conventional wisdom and push the boundaries of human knowledge. His example reminds us that true progress comes from questioning everything and constantly seeking greater understanding. Socrates' legacy continues to inspire us to live examined lives, to challenge injustice, and to pursue truth even in the face of adversity. His story reminds us that the pursuit of wisdom is a lifelong journey, a journey that requires courage, humility, and a relentless commitment to seeking the truth.